G'day and welcome back to another Triple Dummy podcast where I'm joined as usual by Nick Jacob down that way and Susan
Hello.
over there. So welcome. How you doing?
Yeah,
Not
good,
too bad,
thanks.
thanks.
Surviving lockdown?
Yeah, generally. We're moving closer to being out of lockdown, which is exciting. So yeah, I'd say mission almost accomplished.
You see life on like
Yeah.
the light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah.
So today, a few things we were going to talk about. Just recently, over in New Zealand, there's been suspicion of some foul play against a pair. We don't have that many details on it, so we're not going to delve into anything like were they or weren't they. But what we wanted to look at today and discuss was what's the effect of playing online doing? What can we do to prevent cheating if there is cheating? Why people suspect people of cheating more, sort of delve into those sorts of things a bit more, just discuss our thoughts on that, what can be done to just make the game better from that, and then as usual we'll finish with a interesting hand. Anyway, so on that note, does anyone have any thoughts why like cheating seems more prevalent online? Is it?
I think it has to be more prevalent because you're not really accountable to anyone else. You can sort of, it would be very easy to just open up another account and go kibitz your own table or something, and then you can see exactly what's going on. Whereas, if you are someone who likes to take a peek in real life bridge, then usually you don't get away with it for very long before people start suspecting that you like to have a little nosy. So, and a lot of the times live, I'm sure these suspicions are unfounded and, the person isn't actually looking. So, yeah, I'd say that that's a pretty big difference that, there are like more repercussions for maybe not even doing it live compared to, possibly no repercussions for, doing it online. And you don't have to do, all you have to do is guess a two-way finesse correctly, and it's like, how's anyone going to prove you're cheating? just saw all four hands, it's not hard.
Yeah. So you mentioned there like two things I think are worth touching on. Firstly, like the anonymity of being online. Do you reckon like that should be like removed for being able to create accounts that could kibitz or create accounts or anything like that? Or
Seems hard to police, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's very hard to police. I mean, like, you can watch anonymously online. Yeah, I mean, I don't know how it would work with the browser and all that kind of stuff, but I know I do that a lot on my phone when I'm watching ViewGraph and that kind of stuff. So
yeah,
I'm
absolutely.
sure you could find the table.
so, like, should kibitzers be allowed at like? So obviously, ViewGraph kibitzers are standard, but like just like the sort of levels of play. Like there's ViewGraph where the players have no chance to be able to kibitz because they get their phones and stuff taken off. But actual tournament play online, should that have kibitzers allowed? Casual play, does anyone care enough? Should that have kibitzers allowed? Like, where do you draw the line, Benny?
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's very hard. I mean, I know I've been teaching some of my family, cousin and her daughter, and I mean, they're sitting next to each other. I know they're like having a thing, and so move to the other end of the couch. So that level is completely different, obviously, to competitive bridge online. But which I do think players need to have the kind of level of, I don't know, ethical behavior, integrity, that kind of thing.
Yeah, I agree with that.
To compete at that level. I guess.
Yeah.
I had one sort of suspicion of why, like, I believe there would be more cheating online. But I believe there's like one reason why I think lots of people think way more people are cheating. Like, if you just like talk to anyone, there's so much cheating online. And I don't actually think that that's actually the case. There's definitely some in real life play as well. But what I reckon is having a record there and being able to see someone's hand immediately, I think adds to that suspicion. So, for instance, you play a tournament, someone does something weird. Most people aren't capable of working out what their opponent's hand looks like immediately and then seeing, was that decision like sensible or something? Whereas on BBO, they make some weird decision. It pops up with a record. It has the bid and it has the hand right next to it. It doesn't even work.
Yeah.
You just get to see that, and then you're like, "What on earth are they doing?
What were they thinking?"
Yeah. I wonder how many young players over the years, if they'd had all their one no trump openings on BBO, would have been accused of cheating. I know I would have been one of them for sure. Because
I even had a hand today where you opened a spade, they record 2 clubs, partner did 4 spades, back to me, and I'm like, 6 spades.
Yeah.
Had a void in the opponent's suit, but was still missing a couple of places.
Yeah. Just guessing. Yeah.
So I reckon just having the record there is like super impactful for people's suspicion level. Like, I think there's lots of players. Some just like blasé, don't care at all what the opponents are, don't really check it out. But there's always some people that are a bit suspicious, and having a record just there of every little thing, and if it doesn't like line up perfectly with how they interpret it, I think that they just go straight into thinking something dodgy happened. So I think that's why the level of accusations on online bridge is significantly higher, just because everything there is visible and you can see it, as well as the knowledge that it is easier to do, and all the other reasons that it's almost certainly there is more of it. But I think people's perceptions of how much cheating there is like drastically higher than what they're actually.
Yeah, that is true, I think. So one thing we tried to do with these New Zealand Australian matches was, and I say tried because it wasn't that it was implemented badly, it's just that people didn't buy into it. As we were trying to do these Zoom things where you would have, in theory, all the players from the match join a Zoom server, and they would all be assigned different subrooms. So you would be there in this one room with your screen mate. And that way you could clarify things verbally, because you don't want to be typing all the time. Like, it can be kind of hard to give all the negative inferences and stuff. And it was kind of good. Like in the first match that we tried it, I was with Nabil. He was my screen mate, and that was good. Because it was more fun. I found it more engaging. But also, the second match, I didn't have a screen mate because half the people didn't either have Zoom or want to Zoom, or have the technical capability to Zoom. And by Zoom, I don't really care what the thing is. Zoom seems to be the trendy thing at the moment, but just being, like sharing a video with your screen mate, which is pretty decent. And there have been a few players in this match, and there's not the main reason, but one of the reasons why I just did not want to play it anymore is because it was such a hassle. And I thought if all the players could do it, it's you don't have to do it or whatever, but not doing it and then having massive dramas about, was this alerted correctly? Was this explained correctly? Was it done at the time? Was it done a few seconds after or whatever. It's like, you know, the explanations are, you know, inconsistent or whatever. And it's just like all this stuff could have been resolved if, you know, there was some way of just, you know, of all of us doing it. And so I think that would have to be the future to some extent, if, you know, if there were going to be actually substantial online tournaments, you know, then
just being able to talk with a screen mate.
Yeah, or just like, you know, and I mean, I know you can still get around it. You know, I could be texting on my phone, or I could have BBO open on my phone. You know, you can't see my hands. You know, but
yeah,
I think
some level of trust has to be there.
Exactly.
Well.
Yeah, and there's a lot more sort of like, all right, we're both here. You know, we're not like we're taking the match seriously.
Yeah.
You know,
I think taking it seriously is probably one of the hardest things about the online. Just, you know, and I think having that, you know, as a screen mate, that kind of scenario would be a lot better to get yourself in the groove.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
I'm playing bridge now. Yeah. I'm not surfing Facebook. I'm not doing this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, very true. And I think, I mean, this might be jumping ahead, Pete. I don't know, rein me in if you want, but it's like, I think that's what people have had to adapt to with the absence of real life bridge.
Yeah.
It's like suddenly online bridge has replaced all of the usual stuff that people do, the tournaments, the club sessions, and I guess for, you know, some people take online bridge quite seriously. You know, they've you know, and I admire them for that. I find it very hard to. I know quite a few, you know, people fall into different camps. I think a lot of people find it hard to take it seriously because, you know, it's always been sort of subsidiary to real bridge, you know. Somewhere you go, if you just want to grind out a few hands, get some practice in, or watch something, chill out, you know.
On that note, I think
so, I think it's
one of the things is that there hasn't been any serious things play. Like here with no real bridge, all the real competitive bridge that people are playing is now all online, and that's all you're going to get. But previously, that there have been world championships and things like that have been put online. I played like a youth one 10 years ago or something, and for me, I did not take it anywhere near as serious as a world championship in person. So yeah. Like I don't know what you would need to do to make people incentivized to want to take it seriously, but maybe just more of them, prizes or prestige, or like I don't know what it is that like you'd do that would make people want to take it more seriously. But if you do that, then you also open up more people wanting to win at it, and then the cheating aspect of are people cheating, you have to, if things are more serious online, you do have to improve security to try and do something. What are your thoughts, Susan?
I just wonder how, I mean, there are some quite serious overseas matches on at the moment, aren't there? So I wonder if they've implemented anything.
Yeah, I don't know.
But, you know, I get up in the morning and there's some, you know, geograph match thing on. So, but probably not. Like we're still it's far too new for that. I mean, obviously online bridge isn't new, but this level of competition online is new. So it's going to take a while to phase in some of that stuff.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah, I guess you'd have to. I mean, I'm struggling to see how you do it without even like multiple cameras, you know, for each person.
Yeah.
I just don't know how. You need like your hands to be seen. You need to the other person to see what you're seeing.
Yeah.
Or like, sorry, not the other person. You need, you know, an arbiter or whatever to see what you're seeing, and you need to have the stuff around you be seen as well. So it's kind of very complicated.
Your bubble needs to be exposed.
yeah, exactly. So I think it could happen, but I I don't know that the motivation is there, really. I don't think people want it. I mean, I think people would be forced to do it if lockdown persisted, but it feels like that's, certainly not what's going to happen for this pandemic. Feels like, not that it's petering out, but that people are, in a lot of places, are moving closer to normal, regardless of how well their countries are doing. So, yeah, I think I think it also reflects maybe the demographic of Bridge. You're not going to get too many older people. You're like sending them down to the local tech store to go pick up 3 webcams and set them up via this and that, and set up your own little platform so they can join. It's like you're not going to get that.
No, I think we're doing pretty well just to get them online, really.
Yeah, they definitely love their Bridge, that's for sure.
Yeah. So
Means had many a phone call sorting out video.
Yeah.
One random thought I had, which isn't actually going to make it more secure, but like changing people's psychology to it, might be like, before you play, you enter a code of contact, and one of the things is you're not going to talk to your partner, you're not going to have this up, and just something that just you go through and say, I'm not going to do that. Now, obviously, you could then go and do that, but just getting people to read something and agree to it, that's not like a terms of service that no one reads, but like just a few things that says, yep, I agree, I am not going to do this, would then...
Yeah,
I reckon they'll cut off some amount of people that would do it.
Yeah, it wouldn't stop the people who are like, malicious is the wrong word, but the people who like plan to do it or who are determined to do it. It's not going to stop them, but it will stop. Predetermined, yeah. It would help stop people who just kind of, give into the temptation, who just like, just have a look. Oh, yeah, cool. Yeah. So just have a chat to my mate or something,
That's where the queen is.
Yeah. So,
and I reckon, like in Real Bridge, you're not going to stop the people that are like determined to actually do it anyway. So like they'll find a way that like if they do it, you could then like determine way down the track that they were doing it, but like you might catch them eventually, but you won't be able to stop that. But I think you want to eliminate the people that are sort of unintentionally doing it, like they are doing it, but they don't really consider all the ramifications or anything like that. Yeah. And try and just make it a slightly more pure game that way. Yeah. Thought I'd had. But, the next thing I wanted to talk a little bit about is, let's say you do think that someone's cheating or it's suspicious or something. What sort of process do you reckon as a player people should go through? What do you reckon directors or national federations should do? Like, what sort of steps do you reckon should be gone through, Susan?
Well, obviously, if you suspect something, whoever's running the tournament or who's conducting it, you need to raise it with them. But you and them need to go through a whole lot of hands, I guess, and see, was it just a fluke or is there something more underlying? And obviously, I don't know, but the players obviously themselves have to be questioned. You can't just go, you don't know what was in their head at the time or what other factors were, causing a hesitation or, I don't know, whatever.
Yeah. I think it's, I don't think, well, it's very complicated, right? Because there are obviously
I thought it was
degrees. Yeah, no, you're right. Sorry, it's unfortunate. Yeah, let Pete send all your cheating accusations and stuff to Pete Hollins, and and he'll take care of it. So I think it's complicated because cheating is such a wide spectrum, and the idea. I think this is one of the ideas of like the national recorder system and so on, is that the burden is not on you, the player, who feels you have been disadvantaged or suspect that something has gone wrong, and in your opponent's behavior in some way, shape, or form. I don't think it's on you to compile as much as you can, and I say that as someone who has compiled things in the past. I think it's further complicated because of the fact that very often the recording system does not work, and it doesn't work because players who notice things that go wrong don't write them up and send them to the recorder, or the recorders change and the recorder notes get lost in time, and it's like it's feels like at times things go to the recorder to die, and which is a shame, because I think it's a great principle, great idea for a service that you give someone a safe place to air their grievances and so on. And I've done it. I used the recorder recently for a pair that I don't believe to be cheating at all. I just think they're unethical, and one of the I don't think either of them are like unethical people or whatever. I just think that the machinations that go on in the partnership lead to lots of unethical situations, and I think that they are generally advantaged by them. So I was like, all right, well, I played a match against them. I can write up the hands where that happened. So I sent that to the recorder, and that's been the end of that so far. But this is a pair that everyone knows does these unethical things. And if everyone knows it, well, why don't people write them up, And it's not like it becomes a witch hunt, but it's just like if you are a player or a partnership that accrues a whole bunch of these, recorded hands, then, you probably have to talk to some directors at some point, and it doesn't have to be about kicking you out of events and stuff. It's like, look, there are some things going wrong. You need to sort them out. So I think that, except for the truly egregious cheating cases, that kind of process needs to be followed. You report sketchy hands or something. The person to whom the hands are reported can compile them and talk to other recorders, other directors, and so on, and especially talk to the people who are being recorded, and give them a fair sort of chance to respond. And I think for all bar the most egregious of cheating cases, that should work. It's just communication. It's just like there's some stuff that we're seeing that's
one minor issue with that is, you said talk to the people that are being recorded, give them a chance to explain. But let's say that I got recorded and someone said, by the way, Pete, why'd you do that? I would then know who reported me.
Yeah.
I probably can remember, if I can explain the hand, I remember who my opponents are. And you kind of want that process to be anonymous, because if you want to, not everyone wants to just report people and know that they're the ones doing the reporting. So that's like one delicate issue. I 100% agree that people getting reported should find out that they get reported. They should be able to say, this is why I did what I did, or something like that. But you also kind of want some anonymity for the people that are offering that. Some people don't mind that they're the people doing the reporting. Other people would absolutely dread being found out that they reported someone. So how do you balance those issues?
Yeah. Yep. That's a good point. I think more like online records would be good. I mean, it's obviously we're so far away from this actually being applicable in real life. But imagine if you had sensors at tables and your cards and your bids were just picked up on the computer and were just uploaded to a database, and it's just like everything is, and this is kind of what we're seeing right now, right?
Yeah.
Like this is closer to where we're at the moment, is that you can find anyone's hands. You can just put their username in and you've got all the hands they've played. So now we're going back to what you're saying, Pete, which is anonymity. That's such a hard word. Of reporting. And do you think that that's leading to an increase in people trying to follow these courses of action?
Probably. Like making it easier for people to record people definitely would make it increased, and that's probably a good thing that you are increasing the availability of doing that. But also, once you start getting people those tools, some people feel like it's their duty to catch someone. So if they want to catch someone cheating, like you can look through hands, find really strange stuff. All right, let's jump in and look at this hand. So this hand was a single dummy hand. Nick, you got sent this from Roger. There's no definite answer to this, or right or wrong, so we're just going to sort of discuss our thought process on it. But basically, we had an uncontested auction to 3 no trumps, where North opened a spade, partner bid a wee bit of no trump, 2 clubs, 2 no trumps. So this is 2 over 1 auction, 3 spades, 3 no trump, shown 10 to 12 points, and singleton spade presumably, and we get the 7 of hearts lead from the opponents playing 4th best, and the singleton ace in the dummy 1, and righty plays the 10 of hearts, which is upside down count and attitude. All right, so Susan, you got the hand, or?
Yeah, I'm looking at it.
All right, so do you have any thoughts on how to play this so far?